Welcome back. I'm Bryce.
I'm Chase.
And we've been full-time RVers for almost 4 years now this coming March. And before we tell you about this week, Chase is a welder, welds on various power plants, refineries across the country. We're going to discuss a few things that a lot of people are just misinformed, I guess you would say.
Yeah, just with my line of work, just with what I do.
They just don't know.
Just for welding.
Yeah.
So I went to trade school in Texas, and when you graduate, you get a certificate of completion or what have you, or a degree, or and you're not certified to go weld. You have to go take a welding test for these companies. And this past Monday, I went down to Houston to take a weld test, and I failed it, which is fine. I mean, it happens. You don't want that to happen. No one wants to fail, to bust, but it's just the way it is. I'll have to wait like 30 days typically before you can go rehire with them, which is fine because I'll be starting a job here in a few days anyway with a different company.
For those who don't know, what is a weld test?
A weld test is basically just a performance-based test that you have to do with welding, using your craft to show what you're able to do if you can complete it within certain parameters, code for that specific job.
Yeah, because I've been getting a lot of messages on Instagram or Facebook saying, they have a family member who is certified in welding, which is great. We are all for trade schools or any sort of program that gets you to learn how to weld or to do these specific trades. But within welding, you're not certified to, like Chase said. So we want to make that clear because people just don't know that. We didn't know that going into this at all. We're just letting y'all know that's just kind of how it is with welding in this industry. At one point, when we first started, we didn't have a truck, and I'll leave a link to that video below. And we actually hired someone to move the camper from Texas to Arizona. And even though Chase had the job, he didn't have the job because he had to take the weld test in order to pass it, and then he could work with them.
Yes, and you'll have to still do, depending on what type of plant, site-specific safety council and stuff like that, which is basically, you can kind of research that yourself. It's just computer-based testings to familiarize yourself with what happens inside the plants, the safety, the hazards. But we won't go into any details of that. It's quite boring. It's just...
Yeah, but that's just kind of how it is. And so, thankfully, this past week, Chase only had to drive 4 hours south to take this weld test. So, thankfully, we didn't have to go out of state because... I mean, it could happen to where we do have to travel far to take a weld test. And then if you bust it or fail it, you just don't get to work with them. And so if you're in a situation like we are, we really highly encourage to make sure that you have enough money put aside for situations like this, because thankfully, we've been doing this long enough to where Chase has built a list of companies that he can call that he's worked with in the past. But if you're starting out doing this, make sure you have some set aside to where if you travel across the country and you bust, you're able to, save.
Yeah, give yourself that buffer, because that's the last thing you want to do is only have X amount of money in your bank account or on you, and then you drive 1,000, 2,000 miles away, and then what are you going to do when you get there? I mean, there's just no need for it.
Yeah. So the whole point of our channel is to show the good, the bad, and the ugly with our RV life. I know everyone's RV life is way different. We are very much not normal full-time RVers that you see on Instagram, YouTube, what have you, because we are on the blue-collar side. So that's why we started this channel, was because when we started doing this, there was no one telling us or showing us what to do, what they recommend. We were learning as we were going, pretty much. A lot of trial and error. So that's why we started this channel, was to help people, or even just bring to light, like if you know someone that wants to do this, show them our videos. We would absolutely love it. And with that being said, please make sure you subscribe, because we're almost at 1,000. We are so close. If we hit 2,000, we want to do YouTube lives to where we can answer more of y'all's questions, get to hang out with y'all. Make sure you subscribe. Like Chase said, he has a job coming up next week, so we will be leaving this weekend. I don't know what day we've decided yet. So
it's just, you gotta kind of go with the flow. I mean, it's the same thing happened last fall. Like, I don't know. I know the job's starting on the 20th, but I mean, I still got to take a safety council test. It's just a site specific. It can get quite frustrating because these companies, they don't care about you. They've got manpower, they've got a box checked off, that's all they care about. They don't care about your logistics. They only care about themselves. And so logistics, getting it down to where you're at or wherever to whatever state the job is at, that takes time. It could take several hours. It could just take a 30-minute drive. You can only be 30 minutes away from it. That'd be fantastic. It's things like that that kind of get a little frustrating on my end, because I don't have just a truck and I'm going to go drive down to wherever the job is and stay in a hotel. There's hotels all over the place. I could get a hotel right now if I wanted to. And so here we have to plan. We have to get kind of ahead of the game. Yeah. So it's things that those who are wanting to do this type of lifestyle, at least the welding side of it, for me, that's what's challenging for me. Others may not find it as challenging, and I've really never had that many issues. Really, it's just with this particular outfit that they kind of wait to the last minute to do things. Yeah. So,
I mean, I would definitely say to make sure you are able to have your camper packed up in short notice. I'm not saying go all crazy to where you miss
at least for the day,
steps.
For the next day. Yeah. Have it accessibly packed up easily to where if you get that phone call in the afternoon, you can, by that evening, you can have everything picked up. So in the morning, you can pull the slides in, and that's what Bryce is meaning. She's not saying that, oh, you got to get out of there within 30 minutes. No, that's not. Don't think that. I will never do that. I won't do that.
No, but usually within the evening, if Chase is like, hey, we're leaving tomorrow, that's awesome. Yeah. I can have everything done that way. We're not having to stress or anything like that. So we'll definitely take you along with us this weekend of what happens. So make sure to subscribe, because now we're starting to pack up. So we'll take you along with that as well. We can't take you inside the plants just because we just can't.
Security reasons.
Yeah. I know a lot of y'all understand that, which I really appreciate that. But we will be able to share things that, might be helpful to y'all, kind of what day-to-day life looks like in that sense. So make sure you're subscribed for that. If you have any questions, please leave them below. We love answering and helping out y'all as much as we can. We did a whole video on how to find these types of jobs, and also in the sense of how to find blue collar jobs, like whether you're electrician, scaffold builder. We also talked about blue collar jobs that don't require like a specific skill in the sense of painters or fire watch, which you stand back with the fire extinguisher and you're watching people. I've done that before in the past. I didn't go to trade school or anything like that, and I've made some pretty decent money doing stuff like that. So we shared how to find those types of jobs because we get that question a lot as well. We're hoping within maybe this next month or so to make shorter videos within Chase's work in the sense of how to start, what does housing look like so you can get the most out of your stays to maybe save up for a camper, things that we recommend, because we've been getting a lot of messages of what should I do right now? Someone's in high school or maybe they're older and want a career change. What do they do? What you recommend? So we're going to start doing videos like that to where we can send y'all a playlist. So that way everything is right there and it'd just be easier that way. So if you have any questions on that or things that you want to know, leave them below so that way we can add those to the videos coming up. It won't be like a Friday video. It'll be probably like a Monday or Tuesday type video because it'll be very short. But we want to be able to offer that to y'all because we get it. If you're starting this, you don't know what to do. No one teaches you this unless you have someone that grew up doing this. And yeah, hope that helps. Been a crazy week, but it just happens. We hope you all have a great day and we will see you later. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
All right, we forgot about one important thing, and that's requalifications.
Yes, so when you go and take a weld test for a company, the certs are only good for 6 months. Sometimes they could be good for a year, but typically 6 months. So if you don't make a weld within 6 months, so if you take a weld test January 1st, and you don't make a weld until, let's say, maybe mid-June or in July, well, that's past the 6 months. So you're gonna have to requal for that company. Plus or minus a day or so. I don't really know. I've never had it happen to me that way, so I wouldn't know if they'll be able to pencil whip it. I don't know. You take a weld test then, and it's that late, you'll have to requal, which will be like another pipe test or plate test. It just depends on the company. If you take a weld test on January 1st, and it's good for 6 months, and let's say you don't weld for that company until maybe March 1st, well, that 6 months starts then. So then you could, from March 3rd all the way to September 1st, you're taken care of. So that's kind of the way
Yeah.
The welding side of it.
No, it's not the full weld tests like at the
Yes,
beginning.
that's correct. So it'll just be one test typically, just to make sure, just to requal, just to make sure everything is still fine with your quality of welding and everything. And so, because if not, then I mean, it is what it is. But typically, weld tests could be sometimes, like, you know, hiring in will be just one test, and sometimes I've taken as many as 4 or 5. I mean, for a company. So it just depends on what they want, what they're asking of you.
Yeah, that is also a good point too. I don't think we mentioned it, but all weld tests for all companies are different.
Yes.
I don't think we mentioned that. So just because you take one for one company doesn't mean another company is going to be the same.
Yep.
So.
Yes, a lot of companies will just go ahead and give you 3 or 4 with different metals and kind of go ahead and qualify you for all thicknesses and metal types. Just to go ahead and just to go ahead and get it out of the way, I guess. And then there's some that will just do just one test, just a carbon tick and stick, because that's all that they're. We fed him chicken today, and so he
wants some more.
Bit left up there, but you know, I guess y'all could see me give him a piece. We don't put any seasoning.
He keeps on.
Handshake, kiss. There you go.
Oh my gosh, this boy.
Anyway, so yeah, that's how requals and certifications are for these companies.
Yeah, and this is specifically for welding.
That's good.
Yeah, so I don't know what the electrical or all that stuff looks like, but this is just welding. So after we filmed this video earlier today, maybe about like a couple hours later, we got a phone call from a company that Chase is going to start working for on Monday. And you went and took a drug test
and breathalyzer test for them today. I was able just to go locally to a place where we're at, and then I'll do an online Safety Council site-specific test tomorrow morning on the computer.
Yeah, which is really nice.
Yes, and then we'll leave Sunday morning and start work Monday, and then get my badge.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, so we'll definitely take you along this weekend. But yeah, it's crazy how just a couple hours can kind of change. We were literally in the midst of eating lunch and we're driving 30 minutes south to go take a drug test, and tomorrow you're taking a test. So just kind of have to go with the flow. It's just part of it. So we wanted to make sure we added that part into it because, like I said, we want to make videos that will help whoever is wanting to do stuff like this, because you just don't know. And if you're coming into this and then they ask you to take a requal and you're like, I didn't know, we just wanted to let y'all know that's just part of it. So anyway, hope you all have a great evening or day, and we'll see you all next week. Kenai.
Next week.
Kenai.
We're out.